Hey guys, Heavy Arms 45 here. Y'all thought I forgot about y'all, didn't you? I didn't forget. I have not forgotten. I've just been a little preoccupied. Um, as people I believe watch this know, I'm an adult. I have a job. My job has changed, so my channel is probably going to have to change too. I changed it from Sunday to Monday. I might have to change it again. We'll just wait and see. But hopefully that is not the case. But I promised before the end of the year I would do all my honest opinions for every anime that I have. And I stopped at L. So that means I have MNOPQRSTUVWXY and Z. So I am going to try and go through all of them that I have left before New Year's, which means this is going to be a long video. But I will try and keep it short, simple, and to the point. And I'll have a little message afterwards for a different reason. But let's go ahead with the honest my M to Z honest opinions. The first anime that I have on my M to Z honest opinions is Majutsushi Orphan. I don't know what the English name for, but it is a anime dealing with magic. It was one of the new ones that came out about the same time as I hate taking damage, so I put all my points into defense and stuff like that. But it's interesting. I enjoy watching it, but I kind of gotten confused. I got confused in what the story is. I know that he Orphan is the guy's name, and he is kind of like an ex wizard. Like he fought his master. After fighting his master, he was denounced by his group, so he kind of wanders around with still the abilities of his group, but not a part of them. And so everybody looks to him as somewhat of an outcast. He's went from being kind of like, I want to say he was real loyal and kind of like upstanding to kind of looking like a punk rocker from the 80s. That's what he kind of looks like. He has the jacket with the sleeves torn off, his jeans, bandana on his head. Yeah. So Orphan is, like I said, I got somewhat confused in the story. I probably need to watch it again and see what exactly going on. The next anime that I have on my list is My Hero Academia. Not everyone has seen My Hero Academia. Or if you haven't seen My Hero Academia, you know who in the world Deku is. Or Midoriya or Izuku. You can, all three of them, same person. People have fallen in love with. And I think I said in one of the videos before. Originally, I was like, I'm not finna watch My Hero Academia. And somewhere around the USJ attack, I was over at a friend's house while he was staying with his mom, and I just wanted to hang out. So as we hanging out, I'm like, he's watching. I'm like, I really don't want to see, but I finally did, and I was hooked. The USJ hooked me in because I'm like, what's going on in the story? I need to see what happened at the beginning, and I followed it from the beginning. Then I started downloading the second season, third season, fourth season, and I love it. I love Deku. I love Bakugo. I'm reading the manga off of the viz.com. I am enjoying all stuff that's happening. I can't wait till where they are in the manga comes up in anime. I feel like that'll be so interesting. But in My Hero Academia, there's someone for you to fall in love with in just about every story. I mean, like, you can fall in love with Deku, Bakugo, Uraraka, Frumpy, Creaty. There's different people that you can like find a connection with, and it's kind of fun. Even though Deku is the main character, you see how his fellow classmates kind of develop the person that he's becoming. Yes, he's a big hero fan, but all his friends kind of help mold him into the hero that he's going to become. He's an amalgamation of all these different people in his class. He's not the best. He's the kind of jack of all trades, like what they had in Pathfinder. You're not the best at anything, but you know just enough to be good at just about everything that you do. And and I miss sometimes the original Deku who did notes on everybody, and basically he studied people so well that he could tell their weakness without having the special power that gave him the ability to see a person's weakness. Cool. Uh, the next anime that I have is Seven Deadly Sins, and it's only I want to say the third season that they had come out. Um, I watched it. I enjoy seeing the Seven Deadly Sins. I'm interested in who Merlin is. I'm liking um Escanor. Escanor surprised me, and then I fell in love with Escanor and his character. Just I am superior to everyone personality. Um, and actually fought Meliodas like Demon Meliodas at that. Like he had not a care in the world. He's like, "Oh, you forgot. The higher the sun gets, the stronger I become." I'm like, "Huh?" And I really wanted to see that fight because when it became high noon and he fighting Meliodas, that was a good fight. I like King. I like uh Dion. I like all the I had a okay. I had a moment because I have to clarify that I liked all the seven deadly sins except for I just had a name in my head. Um Golter. I hated Golter for a second. Mostly because of what he did to Den and what he tried to do to the rest of the group. It kind of upset me, frustrated me, different things. But I after the third season, I'm starting to like him a lot more. Um, the next anime I have on my list is Nekopora. Nekopora is a show about cat girls. Basically, it's all about cat girls. It's this guy owns a cafe where he has cat girls serve food to people, and all the people love it. And the girls have apparently to be a registered cat girl, you have to have this like bell around your neck, a collar with a bell on. And so yeah, um, it's about them taking in a stray, and it's a good show. It's just I like action. I've told y'all that. So this slice of life thing, it had me almost at a snooze sometimes. It's not because it's a bad show. It's a good show. It's just it's slice of life. There's no action in it. It's just like them living their normal lives as being cat girls. If you enjoy seeing cat girls dressed up in cafe made outfits, it is the show for you. If you're okay with little girls that looks like cat girls walking around in suits like that, that is your thing. Chef don't judge. But I I was okay with. Um the next anime that I have is No Gun Life. Now, I I enjoyed No Gun Life. It's a very deep story. It's you have to watch a couple of the episodes over to get the whole meaning of it, which is good. It's gonna be like what I'm gonna talk about in a few minutes about another anime. Um because it's a lot of if you blink you'll miss a lot of things in it. But Gun Life, it's an interesting premise. People were people created weapons that actually have gun heads and all, the idea of Ghost in Shell, but in somewhat of a not. I don't even. I want to say it's a more gritty form of like Ghost in Shell, because Ghost in Shell kind of focuses on like the evolution of robotics. This kind of makes it seem like after a while of upgrades in the way people function, it kind of stops. You don't have high. It's not a lot of high digital type things like what you would see in Ghost in Shell, like hollow suits and stuff like that, but more mechanical, type innovations that I don't want to say make you better, but basically modifications that have. It's kind of like Auto Mail for Full Metal Alchemist, but it's set up in a more modern time than what you would get in Full Metal Alchemist. So yeah, that's the way I'm gonna explain it. That's what I got. On to the next one. Okay, so the next anime I have is Noblesse. It just came out, and I think it just finished. Um, I'm gonna have to. I think I need to catch up on what's going on in it. But for the most part, it is also slice of life, but it's talking about a ancient vampire that they call Noblesse, or he is his. I guess you would say his title is Noblesse, and he's been around for years. But all he wants to do is just live at a high school, live at this high school, and just pretend to be an ordinary kid. He has a couple of human friends that come by his house and eat with him. He has bodyguards that and the principal who actually work for him that basically protect the school, and they all have their own special powers. Um, it's an interesting show. I do enjoy watching it. It it has action. It has its action moments, but it too also has a lot of slice of life. But I feel like out of the 12 episodes I've seen of it, there's I got more action out of it than I get out of other ones that I say are just a slice of life story. Um, the next anime that I have is an old one but a good one. It's called Outlaw Star. Outlaw Star action, but the story kind of everywhere. It's kind of like watching Outlaw Star. I enjoy seeing Gene Starwin and his friends, but um my problem with Outlaw Star is I guess some of it's a little bit of the explanations. Like you don't get explanations of why certain things, but you do get on some. You get a lot of them going through the grind when you're trying to figure out what is the galactic ley line, and the story kind of shifts in a way. Because the first beginning of it is like them kind of like trying to live their life. Then it's like, okay, all these, uh, I won't say the Goten 7, but I could be wrong, are trying to kill Gene and Jim, and because they're trying to kill them, well, it's specifically Gene. Um, you have a lot of like more gritty moments in the story till like it feels like they tried to really very quickly end the show, and I think that's actually what happened because they were planning on trying to give you a bunch of hints starting in season 1 that will go into season 2, and then they found out that we're not don't have a season 2, so they had to kind of like just like end it, and it kind of shows in the way the anime goes. It feels rushed in places. Places it looks like they was gonna start trying to do stuff, and nope, we have to go ahead and end this thing right here. So yeah, that's Outlaw Star. The next anime I have is Overlord. Overlord is just like No Gun Life. Overlord has a bunch of stuff going on, and if you didn't catch it the first time, you've probably missed it. Like, I was watching it, and it's one part where Momonga, Ainz, whichever one you want to call them, just it like he decides to go fly off into the sky, and he just talking as he has his assistant, I won't say, I can't think of his name right now, beside him. And he says, taking over the world might be interesting. And when you hear, like, it was like literally, it's like something that said, and I want to say the first episode, that, or maybe second episode, and it sounds like it's just a passing thought. I was like, yeah, taking the world might be interesting. And he just keeps talking. But you, like, get to the third season, and they're like, yeah, he's talking about taking over the world. And you're like, wait a minute, when did he say that? And you have to, like, if I didn't watch that second episode when he tried out his armor of being just trying to dress like a regular fighter instead of being looking like a spellcaster, you would never have seen that part. And also, I had problems with, whenever I see the credits of an anime, I'm like, okay, it's done. But when you're watching Overlord, you have to look after the credits, because after credits, they have more stuff going on. And some of it they might actually put at the beginning of the next episode, but sometimes they don't. Either way, it is stuff that is important to the episode. Watch every part of it. It is essential. There are things that I'm still trying to figure out that I'm not understanding. I'm waiting to see what happens when they come back. I want my Overlord. I want a lot of my animes back. I'm probably going to make a list of all the animes that I want them to bring back that they probably want. But I'm sure Overlord's come back. It's just gonna take some time, because I don't know if it's a graphic novel or the manga. They're pretty close right now in the anime to that, so I think they're trying to give it some space so they can start back doing. So, taking time to go ahead and let the the manga or whatever, get some distance between y'all, it's fine. I think One Piece did that somewhat. That's why they're like 40 mangas behind. There's like there are 40 mangas behind. The anime is 40 mangas behind where the manga is. So, next anime that I have is Parasite the Maximum. I've talked about this. I've talked about this at the same time I've talked about another one that I have on the list. Parasite the Maximum is interesting. It almost made me want to put earplugs in before I go to bed, because I wouldn't want it to get in my ear. But the other problem I have is that I sleep with my mouth open, so that might be a problem. Or it go up your nose. So there's no way to stopping these parasites either way, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, Parasite, if you don't know, is this little worm gets to your ear. Once it gets to your ear, it proceeds to eat your head from the inside, and now controls the rest of your body. Now, the rest of your body is still human, while the head is now a alien. Or we never really figured out what exactly it's an alien, and really in the anime what it's like is, it doesn't matter what we are. It doesn't matter if we're the aliens or you're the aliens. And we're like, wait a minute, we're the aliens? That makes no sense. But it doesn't matter. If the important part of it is that it's a parasite. It eats people. They find that whatever they become is what they crave. The Maximum is a good show. It's also somewhat of it's not somewhat. It's an anime that makes you think about your idea of what a monster is. Like the whole time you're thinking about how much of a monster the parasites are. But you have this one killer that basically is like, you know, you're just like me. And I'm like, no, he's not like you. He's not a killer. But basically the idea of we're both this savage creature that kill, like we kill our own kind to um I don't know if it's entertain or to satisfy ourselves. The parasites eat people for food. This killer kills people for his satisfaction of, I guess you want to say, um carnal satisfaction, not in a sexual way, but just he's happy killing people. Um and yeah, it's a good show. I'll say what I have to say about that later. The next anime that I have is Persona 5, the animation. Now, if you ever played Persona 5 on the PlayStation, good for you. I didn't. This basically takes, I guess you want to say, somewhat like the cutscenes of the video game and put it into anime form, which is not bad. I had never played the games, but watching Persona 5's the animation, it had me curious that I was like, I want to try and play this game. I want to see exactly like how different it is. And it might be very different. It because I've seen low key play it, and it seems like the decisions that they make are is based off of decisions you make, what happens, which that means that watch Persona 5, the animation, is somewhat like you're seeing one person's interpretation or one person's decision making up what their way the story went. Like your story could go completely different based off the choices you make. Um but yeah, I did like it. I like Joker. I enjoy Morgan. You know, I like all the characters and the way they try and change people's lives basically by going into their uh I guess you say inner world and find out what their deepest desire is and basically uncorrupting their deepest desire so that they can become a regular person again in actual life, so they're not um jerks or secretly a jerk. um the next anime I have is called Please Teacher. Please Teacher is probably one you probably haven't heard of. It was an anime that came out in 2002. Now, Please Teacher is about a alien girl who comes to Earth, and she is found out by a boy. Now, this boy is actually 18, but he has a condition where he goes into what he calls a standstill. And what a standstill is that when he was 13, he kind of like had a panic attack. But his panic attack doesn't like make him hyperventilate and all stuff. It puts him to sleep. And when he woke up, he looked like he was still 13 years old. And so to since everybody in his hometown would have known that he should have been 18, his parents sent him to live with his uncle and aunt. And as they do that, he runs into the alien who um accidentally picks him up in her ship, and they go through a little thing. They go through a couple of dimensions, come back. Um, he goes to school and finds out she's his teacher. Well, now they have to try and explain why they're being found together. And so his uncle has the great idea of, hey, yeah, they're married. So the teacher, not the teacher, the principal, having sympathy for their situation because he married someone who was in his school, was 18 and was going to his school, so he had some sympathy. And so, yeah, so the rest of the show is all about them trying to keep the secret of them being married, because they officially got married, and from all his friends at school, while they're off like going on vacation, trying to have a honeymoon, trying to actually like get together, while at the same time some of the girls in their class are trying to hook him up with a girl that's in his class. So this girl is liking him, while his wife is jealous that they're trying to hook them up. And yeah, it's all crazy. But I enjoyed watching it. I recommend it to anyone. The next anime that I have though, because yeah, I if I'm talking about these, I probably recommend a lot of them. If I don't recommend it, I'll tell you. Get me? Okay. So Plunder, it came out earlier this year. Plunder is about numbers. It's a numbers game. The whole show is based off of, what if a certain thing in your life, you're not sure exactly what, was based off of a number. Okay, so each time you get that, you do that, you get an increase to your number. And now let's say that by that number, each person, if your number goes down zero, you're dragged to, they say, hell. Well, not hell, but a bunch of shadowy hands like take you and drag you down into the shadows where they come from. They're shadowy hands dragging you into the shadows. Ooh. So these shadowy hands do that. And so the main character that you see is this girl who, her number is based off of the amount of miles she's walked. And she's walked over, I want to say 400 miles. I might be wrong on that. And it's a good show. It's it's an action show. I like action. I've told y'all this. Um yes, you following her, but you're following also what they call the legendary ace. And the legendary ace is this guy wearing kind of like a red cape, and he carries a long katana, not Sephiroth long, but pretty long. And the thing that makes him special is that his sword has his count on it. And not only does his sword have his count, he has a count. His count that he has on his, I'm trying to remember where it is. I want to say that it's on his hand, is negative 4, like negative 599 or something like that. And it's based off of the amount of times that he's asked a girl out and they've said no to him. But the one on his sword is like 17,000 or something like that. So his sword counteracts any negatives that he has right now. And it's fun watching that show. Like I said, it's well, let me go back. It's a little bit perverted, because the main guy kind of is a pervert. He kind of like wants to see girls' tits. He, like, the first time you meet him, he's trying to open up this girl's legs because he knows that she has a count on her thigh. So he's like trying to see the count on her thigh. He's like trying to pry her legs open. I'm like, oh my goodness, what's wrong with this show? I was like, because I thought I was about to say, this is another interspecies reviewers, but it's not. It's, while some of the stuff he does is somewhat cringe, he has a kind heart. He is a good person. He's just a pervert. let's be honest, Jiraiya was a pervert, but we still liked watching him. Um, the next anime I have is Prison School. Now, I don't know why somebody would think it would be a good idea for a bunch of guys to be able to go to a school full of girls, but in this anime, somebody did, and they made an anime of it. These guys being in a all girl school because they tested it out, get arrested by the school secret police. No, the secret secret police of the school that also have a secret school board or whatever like that. So it's ran by the principal's daughter and the principal's best friend. And so the boys get caught trying to look at the girls. And not only do they get caught, they're completely hated by the president of the school. I mean, the president of the school, because the principal is, you come to find out, the principal, he is a guy who really likes his butts. Yeah, he has so much. He has magazines of booties, pictures of booties. He has a nice little mouse mat pad with the booty where you put right there on the wrist. And like his sister, I mean not his sister, his daughter is so upset that he is always looking at stuff like that. But that's him. What are you gonna do? I know I'm trying to speed this up, but yeah, it's a good show. It too is pervert because you start out with guys trying to see girls in the shower, and things kind of go downhill from there. You have one guy who's a masochist that enjoys, since they're now in this school, since they're in school and they're being put into this prison school where they're separate from girls now, he enjoys the vice president of the school like beating him up. He wants her to do that. He just loves stuff like that. So yeah, it is a show that is just full of, it is on the level in my mind of High School DxD without all the fan service that you get from High School DxD. You have a lot of the talk, not a lot of the action. The actions that you do have though, whoo, yeah, somebody was gonna die. The next anime that I have is Queen's Blade. Ah, hell. Queen's Blade, High School DxD, Prison School, probably parts of Plunderers. I'm trying to think of other ones. Well, we'll leave it right there. Are not for kids. They are not for kids. Queen's Blade is about, there's a tournament to figure out who is gonna be queen of the world, for the most part, or at least that continent. And whoever the queen is sets the rules. And so it's a win all end all type thing where it's like everybody is working together to try, well, not everybody's working together, but all these girls are fighting each other so till they get to one last girl who will go against the present queen and win the Queen's Blade. That's how it goes. I forget how often do they do the Queen's Blade, but it's like an angel is in charge of refereeing the whole thing. She shows videos of everybody who's going off on these different, are fighting each other and stuff like that, and it's pretty interesting. But yeah, Queen's Blade is kind of like, and I don't think I have this. Yeah, I don't have Ikitosen. It's a lot of they're fighting. Oh no, their clothes are being torn off in the fight. Oh no, their clothes are being torn off in the fight. Oh no, we're seeing more than what we should. That's kind of what you get when you're watching Queen's Blade. A lot of That is fan service. Fan service of, oh, this metal armor all of a sudden is cut by a blade that can tear through anything. Oh, and kind of the Fist of North Star type thing, where like the next time you see them, the armor's just fine. The armor's fixed, and there's nothing wrong with it. Magic. Yeah. So let's go on. There is something about my list that I have to say. I I do watch stuff that's for kids. It's just that I'm hitting a rough spot right now in the anime that I have that is not for kids. The one that I'm looking at right now that's next is not for kids. It is not for kids. It is called Rin, daughter of uh Nemosin. Nemosian. Um Mimosian. I'm sorry, that word is bothering me. Um, it is. It's a short anime. I want to say it's like less than 10 episodes. I want to say it's only 5 episodes, if that. And in those 5 episodes, each episode is like 45 minutes long. Ren is about uh uh Yggdrasil, the tree. The one you hear in Norse mythology. Yeah, Yggdrasil apparently drops they call it Yggdrasil. I don't know which way to say Yggdrasil, Yggdrasil. It depends on how you want to do it. It randomly during time is it's kind of like in different plane than other things in the world, but every once in a while it shifts over into this earthly plane, not fully, kind of like in a ghost like thing where only people who have been touched by its fruit, and by its fruit it drops like um little orbs, little like about the size of marble orbs. And when it drops these orbs, if it goes through a woman, they become a immortal. They become this immortal woman that will, no matter what, they always come back to life. You can shoot them, stab them, blow them up, tear them to pieces. They will still come back whole and be just fine. They do die, but they come back to life. Um and when they come back to life, everything's fine. But the downside is if you're a guy and you get touched by Yggdrasil's fruit, you don't become immortal. You become what they call an angel. Now, an angel is not a good thing. An angel is kind of it has wings like an angel, but then it has sharp, pointy teeth, and they fly around trying to find the immortal women and try and have sex with them and eat them at the same time. Like, Ren gets caught by one, and she gets super horny and proceeds to like saying, "Take me now," while she's trying to at the same time resist it by trying to stab him, and he's like starting to like have sex with her in the air as they're flying, while at the same time he's biting her shoulder, and she's loving every minute of it, and in pain from him biting her. But yeah, that's Ren. Um, Not for kids. It's an interesting story. Not for kids though. The next anime I have is Rise of the Shield Hero. Yes, something that is not sexually charged. I don't think it's sexual. Besides that first part. Okay. Rise of the Shield Hero shows what happens when people get pissed off and actually put in work. The Shield Hero puts in work. Nafumi is always putting in work to be the best Shield Hero he can. He realized that, hey, I don't have the ability to actually do damage with this shield. What do I need to do? Oh, no, I know what to do. I need to go ahead and get people who can. Well, coming in, you're coming to the wrong place in the first place. You're going to a place where everybody hates the shield hero, and especially the king, who doesn't give you anyone to help you through your missions. You do get somebody who says that she'll be your partner. That person then claims that you raped her and at night in a drunken stupor when we all know you don't drink. Um, yeah, that was weird. But that's why I'm like, that's the only sexually charged part I want to say of Shield Hero, the Rise of Shield Hero, Rising of the Shield Hero. I'm sorry, because a lot of it, yes, it's him, and he has what you could consider harem, but not really. Um, a lot of the people around him are, if they're not little girls, they look like little girls. Some of them was just born a month or so ago. Some of them are only like 8 years old. You know, unless you want to say he's a pedo, but Raftalia is not, doesn't look like a little kid. They people age based off of their level, and she's like level 27, but she's like 8 years old. So you can take that however you want. But it is a good show, and if it wasn't a good show, I wouldn't have been able to talk to you about them like I just did. Um, the next anime I have on my list is Sayuki Reloaded. Now, Sayuki I enjoy because it's four friends riding around trying to take care of demons. People don't think that they really are who they say they are. They're constantly being bullied because people think that they're just a bunch of bombs, until they save the world. I mean, not save the world, but save them, and then all of a sudden, oh, our heroes, you know, and they're not rich. They go around saving people, and people don't have a lot of money, so all they do is get more food. Like they get to eat one good meal, then they're off on the road for I don't even know how long, but they're trying to get to a certain place, but as from what I've seen, they've never made it there. But one day they will. But it is a good show to watch. Um, the next anime on my list is Samurai Champloo. Samurai Champloo is a good show. It is a action show. It is somewhat of a slow burn though. It's a good show. Don't get me wrong. It's a good show. It's a slow burn. It's like really trying to stretch to get to those 24 episodes, in my opinion. It's it's about a girl who's trying to find the man who either smells like sunflower seeds or something like that, because I believe he supposedly knows what happened to her dad and these two other samurai who hate each other, who works with her. And so it's like stories of them trying to just make it through the day, well, make it through life in general, like taking different odd jobs to get food and stuff like that, and it works out for them. um yeah, it's a good movie. I mean, not movie, anime. But like I said, it is a slow burn, so um take your time. The next anime that I have on my list is Samurai Deeper Kyo. Samurai Deeper Kyo is about a guy named Kyo. Who else would it be about? It's a name, Samurai Deeper Kyo. Kyo is two people in one. There's demonized Kyo, who has who they say have blood red eyes, and he's killed hundreds of men. Then you have Kyoshiro, who is a medicine man. Um, they originally were two different people, but through some magic, they now are in the same body. Um, both of them are not awake at the same time. somewhere amidst the second or third episode of the anime, Kyo actually demonized Kyo actually becomes the main entity in the body. Um it's a it's kind of like the other um Samurai Champloo. But it's not a slow burn. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff that you have to kind of catch because I've watched it a couple times and I'm like, okay, I didn't know that the last time. No, there's some stuff that you can blink and you miss it, but it is a good show. The next one I have not watched, but it was suggested to me, so I have it. It's called School Days. Um, the best I can explain of School Days is it is the best reason of not cheating on a girlfriend if you have one. That's the best I can do. I've heard people tell me the ending of it, and that's my best answer. The next anime I have is Shi Shimu Shimonetta. I'm sorry, I almost couldn't I almost couldn't read right. Shimonetta is about, imagine the world has been restricted. Nothing not grotesque, but perverted can be thought. So to control people's thoughts and what they see it, what is considered perversion, everyone has to have this collar. If you have this collar on and it starts this white collar on and it starts blinking red, that means that you had an impure thought, which means you have to be purified and re-educated. So yeah, that's in Shimonetta. You have a girl who goes around with panties on her head, wearing nothing but a white sheet, and going around trying to spread perversion to everybody. And she gets a plan to try and bring perversion to her school, which I'm not gonna say it worked. It's a work in progress. Some stuff that's going on, some stuff that goes on in that show is perverted, but it's not considered a perversion, I guess you could say, because some of the stuff that the president of the school does, or yeah, the president of the school does. I think she is that for the guy that she cares about in that show is a little bit over the top. Yeah, if someone like she made him cookies, which is sweet, but it's what she put in the cookies, which was her love. I'd be afraid if I had somebody make me love cookies like that. Um, that's all I'm gonna say about that. The next anime that I have is Somali. Somali to Mori. Somali to Mori was an anime that came out right around the time. Like I said, if I don't like taking damage, so I put all my points into defense. It's about this golem who basically they have a limited amount of life, trying to get this human girl back with other humans before he dies. That's that's basically the story. So you have a lot of small stories that's going on because humanity is no longer the main group on Earth. They've been killed out by all the different um fantasy monsters that's around. Vampires, golem. Well, golems are somewhat nice in this story. Um and other beastoids. Like other beastoids, I'm gonna call them for right now, have taken over a majority of the world and have killed many humans. And so when it comes to humans, they're off someplace far away. They're kind of like nomads now, trying to stay away from these animals to survive. And so, yeah, it's a sweet story. Uh, and the girl's name is Somali. Somali sees the golem as her dad, because he's been around her well, like, not ever since she was a baby, but he has been around her for a while. So she has, in her mind, imprinted herself onto him. Um, it's it's also at times a slow burn. It's like I said, it's a bunch of stories of them trying to make it to where the other humans are. But you get into it's like several different sections of them with groups of different people. And like the last story that you have that happens in it is actually where someone is trying to take her away from the golem. And so that's where you have a lot of action right during that point. And you have some monsters that attack, but you have more conversations on how to be a father than you have on actual action or anything like that. Um, the next anime I have is called Soul Eater, from the creators of Fire Force. Soul Eater is about Grim Reapers. Um, in Soul Leader, you have your miser who controls the weapon, and you have the weapon. The weapon is a humanoid that can turn into just about any weapon that you can think of. We've had one person that can turn to a scythe. We had people. We had twin girls that could turn to I won't say giant metal boxing gloves. You've had twins that were able to turn to pistols. A lot of people have different, like the death scythe that they could become could be anything, just about. You don't know what exactly the death scythe will be. I think one person's death scythe was just a Bowie knife. So there's no actual true regular form when it comes to being a scythe. But the problem is that you have to become a scythe that is worthy of death himself. You have to eat um 10 no 100 no 99 Kishin souls, which are dark souls, and one witch's soul, which I guess you could say the darkest of souls. And so yeah, it's interesting watching this because yeah, you have um Maka, Soul, Black Star, and Death the Kid in there, where you're kind of following their stories, but it's like the whole idea of treating like treating the idea of reaping souls as a school, like a academy for it. That's something that caught my attention. Um, and let me try and speed on through here because y'all have already been with me for a while now. Yeah, I'm. It's been 53 minutes. Let me go ahead and get to it. Okay, SSS Gridman is about a giant, well, a digital creature named SSS Gridman, which is uh super cyber yeah super cyber samurai, um which was something that I remember seeing back when I was in a kid, where they had a live action version. It probably wasn't as good as this, but you know, it's 13 episodes of, you blink you'll miss it. A lot of people, the idea of somebody is creating monsters that are basically killing people, and when everything, like, they go back in, they're not just killing them, but like they're squash them out of existence. And so yeah, it's kind of wacky with that kind of stuff. um but yeah, so to stop these giant monsters from erasing people from the world, uh Gridman comes in, and he has different other people that attach him to give him different power ups, and yeah, he wins in the day. And you have a big fight in that really makes it all awesome and great. The next anime that I have after SSS Great Man is Steins Gate. Steins Gate is about a guy who had him and his friends have found a way to go through time. The only person who can make it through time though is him after it's said and done. So he is trying to create the perfect ending to everything. There's one ending where one of his friends that is real sweet is killed. And so he spends like, I want to say, at least 8 episodes trying to find ways of trying to keep her alive. Once he figures it out, he's trying to fix the problems of every single. Actually, that was the first problem. He tried to do. Everybody asked him to do something to fix. Well, they sent back texts and stuff to different people so that they fixed different problems that people had. And the problem was that he was the only one who noted, who recognized that there was a change from what they did the time before. So they would send a text, and it was like one of them was like this boy was brought. This boy always wanted to be a girl, and so he heard that if a woman eats a certain kind of food, the child will come out as a girl. So he sent a text back to his mom to tell her that she needs to eat, I want to say, more vegetables. And so because she ate more vegetables, when time came back, he actually was a girl. And so the more he did that, the more things started messing up to where he had to try and change everything back to the way it was before so that he was able to get the actual get everything back to being normal, and no one died in the end. Um, and he was able to do it. The next anime that I have after that is Strike Witches. Strike Witches is okay. It's not. I'm not gonna say that it's a terrible anime, but it's an anime dealing with, again, it's not cat girls, but it's witches. The witches like suddenly have animal type features. Like they'll get dog ears or something like that, and they'll proceed to start flying around using their magic, and they're trying to destroy these giant machines. And so as they're doing all this stuff, it's interesting, but it's a bunch of little girls, and I feel bad because I feel like all they want me to do is watch them being upskirted because you're seeing them flying from behind. I'm like, no, I don't want to see these girls flying from behind like that. Please, I just want to see what's. But it's a okay story. It's not bad. It's just that I'm about it a lot of times. The next anime that I have is called Sword Art Online. If you don't know what Sword Art Online, man, you're behind. Sword Art Online is about people going into a virtual world. It is the start. It is where um the idea of a cellular world begins, because supposedly the nerve gear that you have in Sword Art Online is a precursor to the collars that they wear that lets them go into the virtual world in Excel Saga. If that's supposed to be actual canon, I'm not sure on that one. But Sword Art Online is a good show. It makes me wish that we actually had the technology kind of like that Infinite Dungeon. And I hate taking them, so I put all my money. Anything that has VR in it, I wish I had a game that did that was fully immersive like that. And I'll yeah. Next anime that I have after that is Tengen Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann. Gurren Lagann has been on Toonami so many times, and I like the Spiral Force. It is fun watching that. It's fun hearing how everybody reacts to it. It's a good show. It's over the top for the most part. I cannot say that I got bored watching any part of Gurren Lagann. Gurren Lagann is a good show. The next anime that I have after that is The Promised Neverland. The Promised Neverland, if you don't know, is about a bunch of kids being kept at their mother's house that is somewhat like an orphanage. When they turn certain age, they're sent off. I want to say when they make it to like their 13th birthday, or somebody, or they are said to be adopted with air quotes. And once they're adopted, they leave, and the kids find out that that's not always the case. That when you leave here, you actually leaving to a better life. So yeah, you have those kind of issues. So there are plans to try and get away from there, and so that's why it's called The Promised Neverland, because they're planning on running away to Neverland, to a place that all their dreams can come true. So it's a story of them trying to get to that Neverland. Um, it's a good show. I think at the beginning of this month, I mean, in the beginning of this year, we're going to have new episodes of it. So I can't wait to see it and see what happens. The next anime after that is Tokyo Ghoul. Tokyo Ghoul, I've talked about in the same breath as talking about Parasite, the Maximum. Why? Because both of them I had in a versus battle. If you don't know anything about Tokyo Ghoul, these people are grow up as these monsters that feed. They can't eat regular food. They have to eat meat. There is a way for regular people to be able to become a ghoul, but it requires you to have a surgery that gives you a ghoul's something. Like King Kaneki got a couple parts from a girl who tried to feed on him, and she by chance died, and he was crushed at the same time. I mean, not like it hurt him that she died, but like he was literally crushed. And so to save him, they put her organs in him, and that made him a half ghoul, where he has one ghoul eye. And yeah, it's a good show to watch. I hope you enjoy it. The next anime I have is Tonari no Seki-kun. Okay, this is called Seki-kun. And it's called Seki-kun, the Master of Killing Time. It is, I want to say, about 15-minute episodes of this boy in class just doing random stuff to try and try and keep busy, and they're fun to watch. The thing is though that you've probably seen parts of it, like his eraser thing on Facebook. Like they've shown the one where he like has all these different erasers, and he makes kind of like a little domino thing on his desk. Yeah, they show that all the time on Facebook. But um I actually watched the whole show, and the Master Killing Time is a very fun thing. All different. He like plays his own form of shogi that is just crazy. Um, but let me go ahead and move on because I'm trying to get to Z before y'all leave me. The next anime after that is Tower of God. Tower of God to me was a good show. Very it's interesting watching a group of people trying to make it to the top to where they can get their wish granted. And apparently, from the way they make it sound, not many people don't make it out of this. So it's if you enjoy seeing people trying to win something, going against a challenge, if you enjoy seeing a guy simping for a girl who doesn't want him, sure, you should watch this. Another anime that I have is called Trigun. If you know who Vash Stampede is, great. Vash Stampede is, I think they say, a plant, and he's a plant that has looks like a human. Um, Vash is a very friendly guy. He wants to help everyone, but he is constantly put into a situation where he has to use a gun, and he's not a bad shot with a gun. That's why I had him go against I forget what's her name is, Rimuru. I won't say not Rimuru. Rimuru is a later one that I'm gonna be talking about. Um oh yeah, it is one of the ones I'm about to talk about. But yeah, Vash it's You can say Trigun is a slow burn because it is stories of him trying to just live his life, but it's cut into like two sections. It's like you have the parts where he's just like going through everyday life. Then when you get to later parts, it's like him going against the people that Knives send at him. And so it's interesting to watch, and I think you will enjoy it just like everybody else has enjoyed. Next anime is called Tsubasa Chronicles. I do not have all Tsubasa Chronicles. Tsubasa Chronicles is based off of this princess has lost all her memory. So a guy that has fallen in love with her is going through different dimensions where they live different lives and going through trying to find the feathers that make up her memories. So that's what he does. He is going through and she knows it. She going with him. She doesn't, but the thing is that he's doing all this so that she can become whole. But in the end, she will never remember the relationship that they once had. And if she ever starts seeming like she having feelings for him again, her memories all of a sudden of them get wiped. It's screwed up. And it's also so heart-wrenching. The next anime after that, since I'm talking about heart-wrenching, is That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Now, to say that his life got better is an understatement. He went from a guy who hated his life. He's like, yeah, he was meeting his friend who was trying to show off his new girlfriend. And once that happened, after his friend showed off his girlfriend, he was planning on just like, yeah, see, I got a girl. And that was going to be end up. But no, a mugging happens. He gets stabbed. He dies. When he dies, he is reincarnated into his other world as a slime, where now he has all these powers that will like come from the last few minutes of his life. This computer system gave him all these different powers, and it's basically telling him what those powers are as he runs into them. Yeah. Um yeah, it's a good show. I can't wait for it to come back. And I think it comes back either in January or early spring. I could be wrong on both counts, but I can't wait. The next anime that I have is called Vivid Strike. Vivid Strike I have not seen all the episodes for, but the reason I have Vivid Strike is because I wanted to see that one episode that you see all the time on YouTube where this girl had a ring these that these girls were, I won't say trying to flush it down the toilet, and she's trying to get it back because it was something from her grandfather. Then as she's trying to get to the principal's office because they're calling her to tell her that something's wrong, she needs to get home. But these girls constantly mess with her, and when she finally makes it home, she finds out that the reason that they were calling was because her sick grandfather passed away. And he was trying to contact her before he died. And so when she gets home, gets to school the next day, she beats the brakes out of all three of them girls. Like she tore their tail up. And that's the only thing I've seen of Vivid Strike. Sorry to say. I keep saying I'm gonna watch it, but I'm not on that level yet. The next anime that I have is called Witch Hunter. Witch Hunter is a good anime. The thing about Witch Hunter is that it is about a girl who has a bracelet that not everybody wants, but this one particular one wants that will give her special powers and all this stuff. But in the end, the girl dies with it, I want to say, and that's in that. And she leaves her daughter an orphan. What it do? The next anime that I have out there is Yu Yu Hakusho. Yu Yu Hakusho is about a kid named Yusuke Urameshi who dies needlessly because he thought that he was saving this boy from getting hit by a car, but instead he hit himself by a car. And that one act of kindness gave him a chance to actually come back to life. That once he does come back to life, he becomes a spirit detective. Then when he becomes a spirit detective, he goes and learns from the great Genkai on how to be a better fighter with his spirit power. So yeah. And so the rest of the show is about him basically going through different detective missions, learning how to, and basically become stronger and stronger till in the end he has his own little happy ending ish. I wish they would bring it back in so I could have more stuff like what happened after he came home, because it's not like all slice of life stuff with him. Like, he's still a spirit detective. Is people still don't be messing with him? I don't know, because he was he is a he did go to the demon world, but somebody might, and it seems like he created people, but it might be that somebody might want to try and jump, and if they don't jump, he got to jump too. Do what you got to do. And the last anime that I have is called Zero Chronicle. Zero Chronicles is a tale of two different kingdoms. One dark that lives in the dark, in the mud and the grime, and the light world that stays among the clouds. And the new king or prince of the dark world is in love with the queen of the light world, and it's a constant story of how there is their inability to get together even though they care for each other. And yeah, it's very sad. And those are my honest opinions on these animes. Some of them I know I just explained, but the fact of the matter is that if I just explained it, it's because I'm trying to get through them. But a lot of animes I watch are good. Like I said, do enjoy watching them. If I said that I don't like them, I didn't like them. There was something about them. Like, it's fine with having a slow burn as long as you have meaning behind the burn. Like, I don't mind getting my food sometimes at a cook where I just, like, you're taking your time cooking it. But if you're just cooking it just because you're trying to kill time instead of, like, making sure that you have a good flavor to it, all you're doing now is about to burn the meat. And that's why I feel like sometimes some of the animes that I said was slow burn, like Samurai Deeper Chipo, Champo, it's actually a good anime. It's just that the slow burn, sometimes you're burning some of the meat. Like, I'm not gonna say that the meat's not gonna be good in the end. It's just that it's it's like making a little bit char on it. And if you don't mind char, that's fine. But that's not my thing. But on also another serious note, I hope y'all have a happy new year. I hope that your families are safe. I recently, and in a lot of cases still, have family members that have gotten the virus, and some of them have recovered, some of them haven't, and I'm praying for all of them. I'm happy that my family hasn't lost anyone yet, and I hope we don't lose anyone. Um, if you enjoy what I do, I hope y'all catch me next time in the new year. Um, I'll catch you later.